Yapan Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Hello viewers, welcome to another physics lecture in the series of Prudent Scholars. I am Mr. Sajjan Bakar from People's Higher Secondary School, Panji. Today we are going to discuss the topic dual nature of radiation and matter. Viewers, dual nature, a wave nature or a particle nature. Light, that is radiation, or matter, both sometimes behave like wave, sometimes they behave like a particle. This is well kept secret of nature, which was revealed by the scientists in the beginning of 20th century. How did they arrive at this particular conclusion? To see this, we will see the chronology of discoveries by which these scientists arrived at this particular conclusion. So, you can see over here in 1879 there was discovery of cathode rays by William Crookes. Cathode rays are the radiations which come out from a negatively charged plate when there is potential difference of very high potential difference of 10 kilovolt to 20 kilovolt is applied across the cathode. In 1886 there was discovery of electromagnetic waves, and that strongly supported the wave nature of radiation. In 1887 discovery of photoelectric effect was done by Henry Hertz. Actually, he just observed this photoelectric effect, but detailed study of this photoelectric effect was done in 1886 to 1902 by two scientists, Helmholtz and Leonard. In 1897 there was discovery of electron by J.J. Thomson, who predicted that the cathode rays were nothing but fast moving electrons. In 1905 Einstein explained the photoelectric effect on the basis of Planck's quantum theory. So, this was where the particle nature of light was explained. Then in 1924 de Broglie gave the hypothesis in which he explained the matter also behaves like a wave. So, let us see viewers today what we are supposed to do or what we are going to do in today's lecture. Dual nature of radiation and matter. Radiation, two natures, wave nature. We already know about the wave nature of radiation. Today we are going to study about the particle nature, that is nothing but photoelectric effect. Matter, it has already particle nature. It has space occupied by it, it has a mass, so it is a particle. But today we are going to study about wave nature, that is de Broglie hypothesis, and then the proof of this de Broglie hypothesis, that is nothing but Davison and Germer experiment. So, let us start with first part, and that is wave nature. Wave nature of light. Electromagnetic waves we already studied. The electromagnetic waves are nothing but the very varying electric field and magnetic field, and the wave is a continuous wave with a continuous energy. We studied about electromagnetic spectrum starting from a longest wavelength radio waves to shortest wavelength gamma rays. Phenomena like reflection, refraction, diffraction, interference, polarization, all these were done in ray optics and wave optics. All the above phenomena show that light has a wave nature. However, the phenomena like photoelectric effect and Compton effect could not be explained by wave nature of light, but particle nature of light. So, we are going to now go to the particle nature of light, and for the particle nature of light we are going to start with photoelectric effect. So, before going to actual photoelectric effect, let us see what is the meaning of electron emission. What is electron emission? You can see over there in the diagram this is different atoms along with the electrons around it, and this is the surface of metal. So, meaning of electron emission is that when certain amount of energy is given to these electrons, okay, electrons will come out on the surface. So, electrons get emitted out of the surface. Now, before going to actual emission, how this emission is carried out, we will understand the meaning of one quantity called work function. Work function denoted by letter phi 0. So, what is this work function? So, work function is nothing but the minimum amount of energy given to that electron, so that that electron comes out on the surface. So, different electrons are there at different level, and these electrons are bound to the nucleus, and there will be attractive force. So, some amount of energy should be given to these electrons, so that they come out on the surface. The minimum amount of energy given to the electron, so that it comes on the surface, is called work function and denoted by phi 0. It is denoted by phi 0 and measured in electron volt. You can see one table over there where it shows work function of some metals, starting from cesium, which has a lowest work function of 2.14 electron volt, to platinum of work function 5.65 electron volt. That means for cesium it is very easy to remove electron, okay, and bring it on the surface. For platinum it requires very large amount of energy to bring it on the surface. This minimum energy which is required to remove this electron can be given in different ways. So, there are these three different ways by which this electron emission can be carried out. First is thermionic emission. So, meaning of thermionic emission is that if metal is heated, then electrons acquire that heat energy, they vibrate, and they can come out of the surface. Field emission. In field emission, very strong electric field of the order of 10⁸ volt per meter is supplied to metal. This will pull out the electrons. Okay, this happens, the example is given, this happens in spark plug. So, electrons can be removed with the help of after applying a very strong electric field. And third way of removing electron emission is nothing but photoelectric emission, and in this we are today interested in. Photo means light. When light falls on the surface, metal surface, electrons acquire that energy and electrons can come out. So, light gives the sufficient energy to the electrons, and because of this photo, that because of light, absorption of light, electrons can come out. So, these electrons are called photoelectrons, and current produced by these photoelectrons will be photoelectric current, or it is also called photocurrent. Let us go to the experimental study of photoelectric effect. So, we already know now about electron emission. The minimum amount of energy required to be given to the electron to come on the surface is nothing but called work function. Figure shows here experimental arrangement of the experiment of photoelectric effect. So, let me explain this whole experimental arrangement, and then we will go to the actual experiment where the different quantities are varied and the observations are done. So, you can see in the figure that this experimental arrangement, it has one evacuated glass tube. Evacuated glass tube has two plates, one is a cathode and second is anode, and this cathode is photosensitive plate. Light can be incident on this photosensitive plate with the help of this quartz window. So, when light falls on the cathode, there will be emission of electrons. These electrons will come out with certain energy, kinetic energy. They will reach a positive anode, they will get attracted toward positive anode, and it will constitute current. So, you can see that negative plate, that is cathode, is connected over here to the circuit, and positive plate also is connected to the circuit. So, this complete circuit has a battery, one rheostat, voltmeter which measures the voltage, microammeter which will measure the current, and a commutator which will change the polarity of the cathode and anode. That means, here in the experiment, positive potential or negative potential is connected across cathode and anode. So, let us see what are the quantities that we are going to vary there. So, the experimental arrangement is used to study variation in photocurrent. So, we are going to change over here intensity, the potential difference between the plates, frequency of incident radiation, and the nature of material of plate. Plate C, that means a cathode over there. Now, let us see how to change all these parameters, how to change these quantities. So, again I will go to the same diagram. Now, the two quantities which are going to be varied for light is the intensity of light and the frequency of light. So, the meaning of changing the intensity of light over here is to increase the brightness. Starting with a lower brightness, that is dim light, if we go on increasing the brightness of light, the intensity of light can be changed. Second is the frequency. Frequency can be changed by increasing the frequency. If we consider the radiations, that is red light will have a lower frequency and the violet light will have a higher frequency. So, we can change the frequency, but we can keep intensity same. Third parameter is the potential difference. Potential difference can be changed by changing the rheostat over here. So, first we have to understand what is the meaning of positive potential and what is the meaning of negative potential. So, if anode is connected to positive and cathode is connected to negative plate, then we say that potential is positive potential. So, potential difference between cathode and anode is positive, and we can increase the voltage, that is potential difference, by increasing the or by varying the rheostat. The meaning of negative potential is that polarity is changed. Anode is made negative and cathode is made positive, so that the electrons which are moving towards the anode can be stopped. So, it is opposing potential, stopping potential. A negative potential can be connected to the cathode and anode. So, this way potential difference can be changed. So, let us see one by one, if we change the different parameters, what are the observations in this particular photoelectric experiment. So, first thing that we are studying is, or variation that we discuss, is the variation in frequency. So, we will understand what is the meaning of threshold frequency. So, for this, let us say the light which is incident, intensity is kept constant. Intensity is kept constant. Potential difference, positive potential difference is connected between cathode and anode, and the frequency of the incident radiation is changed from lower frequency to higher frequency. Now, when this frequency is increased, there will be emission of electrons over there. It is found that the electrons are emitted only after the certain frequency. Below that frequency, there was no emission of electrons over there and there was no current. It was happening for just a particular frequency above which the emission of electrons starts. Now, this particular frequency below which there is no emission of electron is called threshold frequency. So, here is the definition. The minimum cutoff frequency below which no photoelectric emission is possible is called threshold frequency, and it is denoted by nu 0. And this threshold frequency was found to be different for different metals. If you just change the metals, that plate, cathode plate, the different metal plates, then this threshold frequency was different for different metals. Now, next parameter that is to be changed is the intensity of light. Now, just now I told that intensity of light can be changed by changing the brightness. For this, what is supposed to be done is that frequency should be kept little above the threshold frequency. So, if threshold frequency, the frequency is above the threshold frequency, and if the intensity is changed by keeping the potential difference constant, we get the graph like this. Okay, you can see the graph over there, graph of intensity of light versus photoelectric current. So, you can see that as intensity is increased, what will happen to photocurrent? Photocurrent also will increase. Number of electrons which are coming out will continuously increase, we get a straight line there. So, that means the number of electrons coming out from the cathode will be directly proportional to the intensity of light. Next thing is to change the potential, effect of potential on photocurrent. So, I already explained you the meaning of positive potential and negative potential. So, positive potential means anode should be positive. Okay, we will go to again the diagram. Positive potential means anode will be positive, okay, cathode will be negative, and negative potential means anode will be negative, cathode will be positive. So, when this way positive potential is connected, you can see the graph. In the graph only I will be able to tell you about the positive potential, zero potential and negative potential. So, in the graph you can see that if you keep intensity of the radiation constant and frequency just above the threshold frequency, so that electron emission takes place over there, and what is changed is the potential difference. So, if you start with zero potential over there and you go by increasing the positive potential, you can see that at zero potential itself there is already some current, and as positive potential is increased, okay, then the photocurrent, you can see after some time it remains constant. So, as positive potential is increased, current increases and it becomes constant. That current is called saturation current. Now, if the potential is 0 and then the polarity is changed, that means negative potential is connected across cathode and anode, what is happening? Then slowly the photocurrent, that number of electrons will decrease, and as you go on increasing that negative potential at one particular potential V0, which is called stopping potential, at that particular potential all the electrons which are coming out will stop. This potential is called stopping potential, where the most energetic electron also is not coming out, it stops over there. Okay, that is called cutoff voltage, or it is called stopping potential. Now, from this we can understand that the electrons are coming out with certain kinetic energy, and suppose most energetic electron it stops for that particular voltage V0. That means the potential energy which is given to that electron should be equal to kinetic energy with which that electrons is coming out, and that is given over there in the last part. The photoelectric current is 0 when the stopping potential is sufficient to repel the most energetic photoelectron with maximum kinetic energy K maximum, and therefore, this K maximum should be equal to potential energy, that is EV0. So, this expression is very important in order to understand the further part of particle nature of radiation. Next thing is the variation of photocurrent with collector plate potential for different intensity of incident radiation. The variation remains same. Variation is variation in the potential difference, positive potential, negative potential, but this is done with the different intensities. So, you can see that the graph remains the same. So, here the current increases, it becomes constant, that is the saturation current. So, for each intensity, the intensities are such that I3 is greater than I2 is greater than I1. So, I1 is intensity, low intensity, dim light, then brighter light, and then brighter light. So, for low intensity, you can see that this saturation current is less, and as you increase the intensity of light, the saturation current goes on increasing. So this shows that if you change the intensity of light, automatically number of electrons, that is photocurrent, increases. But since here the frequency remains constant. Intensities are changed, but frequency is constant, and because of that you can see that as you go on increasing the negative potential, you get the stopping potential, and that is one potential. Even for three intensities, different intensities, the stopping potential is V0, that does not change with intensity. Next is effect of frequency of incident radiation on stopping potential. Again the potential variation is the same, but this time what is done is the intensity is kept constant and the radiation of different frequencies are used over here, such that the frequency nu3 is greater than nu2 is greater than nu1. Nu1 is the least frequency and nu3 is the higher frequency. And we can see that the saturation current is the same, it remains constant for all the three frequencies, but you can see that the stopping potential for lower frequency, this minus V01 is the stopping potential. As frequency increases, the stopping potential also increases. The meaning of stopping potential we have already seen is directly related to kinetic energy of electron. So that means as the frequency is increased, there is increase in the kinetic energy of electrons. So the energy of electron is increasing, kinetic energy of electron is increasing with increase in frequency. So if we plot another graph of all the frequencies and corresponding values of stopping potentials, okay, then we get a graph like this, frequency, and you can see the stopping potential, it is a straight line because frequency is directly proportional to the stopping potential, and stopping potential is 0, that means there is 0 kinetic energy, that means electron just comes out over there, and the frequency over there should be the minimum frequency, and that is nu 0, and this is nothing but a threshold frequency. This graph is for two different metals, metal A and metal B. So you can see that the graph is a straight line having the intercept on y axis, and on intercept on y axis you get the threshold frequencies nu 0 and nu 0 dash for metal B. So let us summarize what were the features, what we just saw in whole experiment and what were the actual observations. So the first observation is for a given photosensitive material, there exists a certain minimum cutoff frequency nu 0, and that is nothing but threshold frequency, below which there is no electron emission, no photoelectric effect. Second thing is for given photosensitive material and frequency above threshold frequency nu 0 of incident radiation, the photocurrent is directly proportional to the intensity. Above the threshold frequency nu 0, the stopping potential V0, which is related to kinetic energy of emitted electron, is directly proportional to the frequency, but independent of intensity. And last observation, which is actually is not, we cannot show it in the with the help of graph, but this observation is important, that photoelectric effect is an instantaneous process, and there is no time lag. So if at all there is time lag, that time lag is so small, that is 10 raised to minus 9 second. So that means this photoelectric effect is very much instantaneous. Even if the incident radiation has a very low intensity, the photoelectric emission is instantaneous.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.
अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस।